Go.
Hello.
Morning, Madeline. How are you?
Good. How about you? I love your outfit.
Want to hear something really funny?
Yeah.
I dress pretty conservatively. I'm 47, mom of four, school mom, blah, blah, blah. And I bought this like 2 years ago, and I've never worn it, but it like spoke to my punk heart.
It's so cool.
When I, it was literally has been in a drawer folded for like 2 years. And coming to this interview with you, I was just like, I have to wear it. I swear to God, I was like, I have to wear it.
I literally love it. Like, I think it's so cool and unique and like it's fun and punky. Like, I would totally wear that. It's amazing.
Hilarious. And you should see me on a daily basis. I'm usually in a sweatshirt and leggings or something, I don't know, like a what's the silhouette? Like a ship dress, like a ship dress and some boots, like
Oh,
navy blue, black, pretty
I
standard.
always like shift dress are always good because they're always flattering. Like,
Right,
they cinch the waist, like with the V-neck, right? With the V-neck and then it folds
right.
around. We tie. Yeah, I like that silhouette too.
So I don't like seek people out randomly. Uh I saw your video and I'm just gonna play it quickly, if you don't mind.
Oh my God, go for it. Yeah.
Crazy bitch.
Yes.
And I actually saw one where you were standing up singing it, but I couldn't find that video that I initially saw. So I just chose the one with you. I think you're sitting on a bed.
Like a bill of fire between our.
So it was really moving. It was really moving because of your honesty and sharing what's going on inside of your head. I mean, people do that probably more now than ever. But the lyrics that you wrote, the melody associated with it, and there was really a lot of emotional, personal revealing that I felt on your part, which is obviously super brave. But for me, this platform, Inter Ethers Interviews, it's about the connections that we have between strangers. We don't know each other. You created this beautiful song. Music is a whole nother portal in itself where strangers connect all over the planet. And I heard your song and it was not similar to me in the sense that we all kind of go through this progression in life of like evolution and change and how we become more firmer in ourselves and more solid and believing in ourselves and knowing who we are. And you almost described that verbally and musically, this, progression that you personally have had. Um, how did that song come about?
Okay. So that song came about I think we started writing it about 2 years ago. Or no, it wasn't that long ago. It was like a year and a half ago the seed of the idea started. Um I've been doing a lot of Zoom sessions with people online. So basically, I was in New York City at that moment, living in Ocean Hill, Brooklyn. And so I had a virtual Zoom session with this writer, Fran Hall, who I absolutely adore, and this other producer named Brad Mayer. So basically, I was like really going through it mentally. I was just like, I would be waking, my mental health was so bad that I would be like waking up every morning and just like crying as soon as I woke up, and in the middle of the night, like feeling like my life was like over and feeling like I'm a failure. And like there was nothing I could do to comfort myself either. I couldn't just be like, oh, I'm going to think like, I'm going to try to like, think a few positive thoughts and get
Right.
myself out of this. It just was not working. And then I like tried going to the gym obsessively and just like tried doing a lot of things like holistically. And I tried doing like the artist's way. I don't know if you've done.
No, what is that?
Oh, it's this book where you have to just like,
Oh,
yeah, you have to like journal. You do your morning pages and you journal, and like it honestly like made things worse for me because I was just like it was just so negative, and it was like a kind of like a stream of consciousness, like a few pages, like as soon as you woke up, and that didn't really help me either.
right.
But anyway, so I came into this session with like such heaviness, and in music, I really try to be honest. So it's like they're like, "What do you want to write about today?" And I was like, "To be honest, like I've been feeling like really depressed, and my therapist like recommended that I go on psych meds, and I felt like it was very dismissive, like the way that
Mm,
he recommended it,
yeah.
and it really bothered me. And so I was just like, yeah, I was kind of like, um, yeah, it just bothered me. It felt dismissive, and I felt weirded out and scared by taking medications. And I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, it freaks me out. I don't want it to like,
You don't want to be dependent on something for happiness or your
exactly.
mood, and you also don't want to interfere with your creative process. Like you don't know if that could interfere with the natural flow of how you create. And it probably could. I mean, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not saying pro or con to psychological medications. I think it's super necessary for some people. But if you have the choice, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, and you want to preserve your and I say this delicately
Of course,
and
it's
I
such
say
a
it
nuanced conversation.
I say it specifically directed towards you, not the general public. If you want to preserve your integrity as an artist, and what comes through for you naturally, you don't want to cloud that. So I can understand being, not wanting to do that.
Totally exact. And that's like what I felt like. And people say like it ruins your sex drive, it makes you like a zombie, and there's like so much stigma associated to it. So I was really scared, and I would like go on forums and read about like all these horrible effects.
Of course.
Right? Yeah, literally, of course. And then people write about like it's like Prozac like ruined my life. Like I could just Google that, and then it'd be like
Right.
Reddit that would come up like
If you want to find all the answers you're looking for, you can. Like, I don't know how many times I thought I was dying
yeah,
based on
literally. No, yeah,
MSD
literally.
diagnosis.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's like those little ads that get you like if you have like little white marks on your fingernails, this could be a sign of a deadly disease. I'm like, most people have those marks.
Right, right.
But so anyways, so I just came into this session with a huge heaviness, and so we wrote about it, and like Fran, who I wrote with, she had some direct experience with that
Yeah.
as well. And
I
she
think a
was
lot of
talking about
people
her
do.
what's that?
I think a lot of people do.
Yeah, they do. And she was just, and I felt like very safe to share. And it's just like, hey, it's okay. Pop those pills. You're just sick. You're not a crazy bitch. It's like the chorus. And I think it was actually like reversed before the first version, but you know how songs take on different iterations and like you edit them to make them more concise and whatnot. But, anyways, so I left the song with that, or I left the session with that, and it was like very cathartic. And I was still like in a really bad place for a while. And shortly after that, I got medicated, and honestly, like I regret not doing it earlier because like now I'm taking Prozac, and it literally made my life so much easier, and I haven't changed at all. If anything, I'm more creative, and
Right,
all the things that I was scared of just ended up not being issues at all. And
right.
it really just like leveled me out. And it's like it just made me realize like some people just need like the balance. It's a chemical imbalance. And obviously it's such a nuanced topic because I do think like big pharma like pushes all
Sure.
meds on people, but I have had a really great experience with Prozac, and it's really really helped me. Um and I can, and now like if I'm ruminating on something, I can literally be like, you're ruminating on something, you need to calm down. And then I'll be like, okay, maybe I should calm down. Yeah. And then like that that's like more normal, and like I can like recognize it before
Absolutely.
it's like impossible to get out of spirals. It just was like
I think
literally impossible.
I think it's so natural and common. I think life is extremely challenging for everybody. I don't think it matters demographically where you come from. I don't think it matters. Well, I mean, of course, some of those factors, social factors, poverty factors, of course, that those things weigh heavily. But everybody has internal struggles, internal doubt, fear. We're for some reason born very critical of ourselves.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think the world is very judgmental, maybe more judgmental today because it's like monitored, it's measured. Everything you're doing is measured on a daily basis, you know. Yesterday morning, I went through your Instagram and I was really going through all of your songs, and it's really one good song after another.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I truly, truly, truly believe that you're really onto something. And I beg and implore you not to change one bit. I don't think you're doing that because you do have messages on your Instagram like, um, my label suggested that I don't rap,
Hmm.
which you clearly do.
Yeah.
It's great. Like, it's, I don't know why anyone would advise you not to do that. You
Yeah. It's funny. I know it's I've definitely experienced a lot of like interesting input in the music industry, and also it's so hard to balance to really like stick to your north star.
have to.
And that's, I honestly think that's the hardest part because like I can be like a people pleaser type. So if like someone who I trust and respect like gives me a suggestion, I'm like, and then I can sort of doubt myself, but recently I've gotten more really like I follow the joy, and I follow like what my intuition is telling me. And like I try to follow like what my inner child would want to, which helps. Yeah.
If your gut is telling you to do something a certain way, if you honor that, if you decide, if you don't go with that, you are like literally dishonoring yourself.
Thank you. That's perfectly, yeah, that's so well put. I
And
completely,
you are turning your back to yourself and walking in a different direction that is not true and is not authentic to you and will deviate you from your path.
oh my God, literally, yeah, that, and I've literally experienced that exact thing by, it's like because sometimes certain things can cloud you. It's like, okay, like I'm broke, like I need money and I need to do
That's
this,
hard.
right? And sometimes hard. And then there are some moments where it's like it isn't necessarily turning your back from yourself, but it's maybe doing something like you're uncomfortable with, or that can help you, or maybe something that you're maybe not 100% on, but it ended up being a net positive. It's like it's so hard, but I to like determine that, especially when you're in like the business of making music, you know, because it's like you need money to like keep the ship going.
Sure, sure. It's not inexpensive to style yourself, make videos, hire people, try to make it look right. Like none of this stuff, it all costs money. you can't really, you can do it on a budget, but it all costs money, no matter what you're doing. So, and this is your sole way of earning money. Um,
Totally, totally. And it's just like, yeah. And now I'm like living full time off of being an artist. And it took like, it's just, it takes,
how long did it take you to get to this place?
oh, like 10, no, maybe like, because I started seriously, I'd say maybe like 6 or 7 years. Like only recently, like within the last like year or 2 years, like I've been able to, a year and a half, I've lived full time off of being an artist. Like I've had so many different jobs. I've been a waitress at a lot of different restaurants,
Same.
right?
Same.
And and no, right? And it that I've been a waitress in Montreal,
Everywhere.
French as a waitress, and sometimes I would just be like, people would ask me about certain wines, and I would just be like, I don't know, I would just like give like the same description in French and be like, it has a
Funny.
great taste, and like it's like light and like delicious. I don't know. People are like, yeah, I'll take that one.
I was a bartender at this one restaurant, and I was a manager in that restaurant too. And they let me be a bartender to make some extra cash because I made like no money as a manager.
Oh, and it's the most work.
And I would literally, when it was really busy, make up drinks. Like someone would ask me for a drink, and I'd be like, la la la, here you go.
Honestly, I love that. And would they just drink it? They'd be like, thank you.
Um, the lives that we have lived. But what I've learned, I'm a lot older than you. And what I've learned is, this interview thing, it kind of called me. I was, I've been a stay-at-home mom for the past 17 years. And, I've always wanted something more. Absolutely love being a mom. But there's more, there's something inside of us that needs water. It needs to expand, it needs to grow, and it's whatever is inside of us, whatever has been gifted to us, whatever our uniqueness is, that part of us from our experiences or all of it needs to grow. You need to do something to kind of bring that out of yourself. And I had this idea to do interviews. I don't know why. I've always adored people, and I've always adored hearing about their stories, what makes them them, what, who they are, what they've been through, successes, failures. I like to hear about who people really are. And that's kind of how this came to be. And after the first interview, like I literally started to feel this aliveness that I've never really felt before in my life. And I was just like, okay, maybe this is something. And everybody will give you advice. The closest people to you will give you advice. And I think
Mhm.
that could be the most challenging, right?
Yes. Or they'll be like, oh, well, don't other people do interviews? Like, aren't there plenty of people who do? I hate when people do that. It's like, hasn't someone else like made a song like that or a video or done that? Or, oh, that reminds me of this. And it's like almost diminishing and like ruining that like spark of excitement you have.
Right.
Anyone who's true to themselves and is going after what they want to do, they're never going to hate on someone or even take the time to leave a hate comment on someone who's trying. And like, since when is trying
Oh
like
my God.
ashamed of? It's
I
ever
don't know.
somewhere,
I don't know.
right? And I guess now because of social media, you see people in like more raw beginnings of trying because they are like, it's maybe just a video they made on their phone or I mean, it is a video they made on their phone, and it's like they're showing their progress maybe earlier.
That though.
I think it's beautiful.
I absolutely love it. I saw this video of this one girl that I reached out to, and I know some people may not say yes because you don't know if you can trust people or not. So I totally get that. But she didn't physically look the part,
Mhm.
but she had the most beautiful voice, and she wrote her own songs, and her lyrics were just unbelievable, and I felt them so deeply. And the amount of people that were writing for her to please stop, and like, you're breaking my screen, and not to be able to see the absolute beauty that humanity has in all shapes, all sizes, all colors, all people.
Mhm.
To not see that beauty, just, it blows my mind how.
It's it's so sad. I agree with you.
But I think when we were talking about your video, dopamine going viral, and you also spoke about how it was challenging for you mentally afterwards because you became a little more critical of yourself, for maybe not achieving the same result
Yes.
the second time around, and how challenging that is. And then you kind of blocked yourself from spiraling. You were like, no, I'm going to just not stay in a positive place. I don't want to make it seem so easy, but not let it hinder your progress and moving forward. That's a struggle.
Totally. Oh my God, as an artist, like the ups and downs, and every art, there are some songs that just flop, that don't do as well. And it doesn't mean it's a bad song. It just means like it just didn't hit in the same way the others did. It could have been like it's just a variety of factors, and it's so random. Um,
Right. Right. It's so random.
it's so random. The song could pop off years later.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
it happened with Kate Bush and like
I was just thinking the same exact thing
Kate Bush.
from
I
Stranger Things, right?
Yes, Kate Bush is freaking astounding. Yeah,
Right. I mean, I grew up with that song, and then all of a sudden my kids are singing it, and it's absolutely wild. And I loved that for her, for that song to kind of get this second life. I
she
thought,
owned all the rights to it too. Her label had given her the rights because like enough time had passed.
oh wow.
So she made a shit ton of money off of that too. So great
Good
for
for
her.
her. That's another thing about the industry that you're in. It's so difficult to make money, and there are so many attorneys and so many people involved, uh, and they make everything so complicated to, sign on the dotted line. You're going to make, X amount of dollars. And in the fine print, it's like, this belongs to me for the next 35 years. And you don't have ownership of this. And this is 65% mine. You really have to be quite savvy when you get into the contractual part of your work. Like, I don't know, I really don't know anything about it. I do know a lot of people have been screwed. You read about it in the newspaper.
Yes.
How do you retain ownership of what belongs to you and what came from your heart? Like, it's so important.
Oh, it's so hard to tell because a label can be an incredible ally and also a hindrance. It can also be really challenging. Um, it's kind of a gamble.
Yeah.
It's like you have to make like a smart gamble based off of the information you know, but it's just like sometimes say labels like offering you like a few $100,000 to sign to them, and sometimes that could make a lot of sense because it's the right partner. But then sometimes, you could sign on to a label and then the label decides to restructure themselves entirely. And then you kind of get like pushed to the side and you don't really have anyone advocating for you there. It is so challenging, and it truly is an intelligent gamble. I've never signed to, like, I've had my experience like meeting all the major labels and they all know me. And now I've done releases with independent labels. Like my manager has a label and we through his label, we released my latest single and the next one.
Tell me a little bit about your singing. How did that start?
Ooh, well, actually, singing to me is like very rooted in my childhood joy in the sense where one of one experience when I was a kid that really, really lit me up was I was in like maybe first or second grade, and I would stay in the after school program where we do activities, and it was in our cafeteria that also doubled as a theater at my school. And the older kids that were in third and fourth grade, they were practicing for some kind of like play musical. And I would watch them on the stage, and I remembered all of the songs. And I remember it just like sparked this like deep joy and passion in me. I would sing all the songs I learned from them, and I couldn't wait until I was old enough to be able to be a part of it.
Name.
And so that it's very much like it brought so much joy to me as a child, and that's like how singing kind of became such a big part of my life, and I just followed that, and I did
Yeah.
theater, lots of theater, choir,
Mhm.
and yeah, it feels like such a great release.
There's a beautiful rendition of you doing I'm not French, so forgive my pronunciation, but
Oh
Love
no,
Rose. Oh, you speak French, obviously, right?
I'm like I honestly was like way better at it. Like before I left, when I was in Montreal, I was working in French. Like I was doing great, but
Did you
honestly,
grow
I'm
up
bad.
there?
What's that?
You grow up there?
No, I just lived there. I lived
Right.
there, yeah, but I grew up in Connecticut, but I
Oh,
lived in
excellent.
Montreal, like directly out of.
Yeah, because your French is really nice.
Thank
So,
you. And French is such a tough language because it's like it's it's even people who are like fluent in French make mistakes because it's a challenging language in general. So, oh, maybe is it La Vie en Rose?
yes. Right here. And you hit a note. You were saying through your vocal training?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Eu sou alors je suis moi, mon corps qui
You have a really beautiful voice.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
How often do you practice? Like you certainly practice and you train and you probably do vocal exercises pretty consistently, correct?
To be honest, I don't really practice as much as I should. I feel like my main practice is I'm in the studio a lot recording, so there in the studio I'm like learning and discovering more aspects of my voice. So that's I mean it's a lot of singing, so that counts as warming up and practicing and
Yeah.
all that. But yeah, I don't really sit down and do warm-ups. I just get like I have ADD, so I get like I get distracted. I honestly it's probably shown in this interview because I'll like go off one fragment of like the interview and then it'll like go into five different things.
I think I may be undiagnosed.
Yeah, you follow it perfectly. You're like, yeah, like this is actually a natural flow. Other people get it though, because we're like, all right, this relates to this somehow. This also connects.
It all makes sense to me.
Me too.
So how many times someone has said to me, "What are you talking about?" If I had a nickel. But
Literally, I followed perfectly, like everything you said. The other ADHD people get it though, is the thing.
tell me what your wildest dream is.
Ooh. Okay, I guess the first thing that comes to mind, I don't even know if this really isn't wild though, but I want to tour the world, and I want to play a show in Japan. I want to I would like to this is a really random dream that I have too that doesn't have that much to do with music, but I would love to start a business and be an entrepreneur and create some sort of like product.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've been obsessed with the podcast How I Built This with Guy Raz, and I find just like the mentality of entrepreneurship, and it's just so similar to building your career up as a musician, and like the risk-taking factor I really like, and this like unwavering self-belief, and you have to have the work ethic combined with like the fuck it mentality.
I think it's not unlike building something from the ground up. I think you like the concept of building something and creating something from the ground up, originality, newness, something that doesn't exist. And those are all, being a self-made, self-directed kind of musician isn't that much different as, someone that's inventing something or creating something, because you are reinventing the wheel in your own way. So it makes sense that you want to create something as well that, the world might not have seen yet. When you're creating and you, like this, for example, I thought about, for a second, what if nobody watches it? Then I was like, fuck it. Like, of course, I talk to myself all the time. Why wouldn't I?
Me,
Talk to myself all the time.
same.
But I didn't want to go down that path because these interviews make me so happy. Alone, period. Leave it there. And don't care about the result.
That's what you have to, you really just have to, you have to say fuck it and go for it. And like in music too, it's like I'm always worried about making something like no one's going to listen to, or people are going to be like, actually, I don't like this new direction she's taking, or I don't like this song or whatever. But it always ends up working out. Genuinely, I really think things have a way of working out.
I agree. Who are 3 artists that you would want to collaborate with? Dream.
Ooh, okay. I adore Lily Allen. I think she's so incredible and she's such an inspiration to me. Um, I love SZA.
Mhm.
I think she's outstanding and she's just like such an artist. Um, who else would I really like to collaborate with? I would also. Ooh, wait, okay.
We're putting
Um,
universe.
wait, the director, like another thing that came to mind would be to make a music video with the director of what is his? All right, wait, I'm gonna find out in 2 seconds.
Like Jonesy.
Oh my God, Spike Jones.
God.
Oh my God, that. But I saw the movie Poor Things, and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. It's like one of my favorite films I've ever seen. I'm blanking on who directed it, but I think he's genius. Um, find it. Oh yeah, Yorgos Lanthimos.
Who?
Yorgos Lanthimos.
What's Poor Things? I never
Oh,
saw.
it's a movie that came out in 2023, and it has Emma Stone in it.
Oh, right.
It's
100% could have
it's
played.
so fantastical, like the visuals, the story. It's so fun. I would love to, like, I guess in a dream, I would love to like make a film that goes through like an album of mine, a full length feature film that goes through an album of mine, and like directed by like Yorgos Lanthimos or something like that. I think that would be so cool.
Interesting. Well, think big and walk towards it, right?
I
That's,
agree with that.
yeah. So everyone should stop fucking around, stop making wars, start walking towards themselves, be happy, get rid of all the negative thoughts, and that's it. Peace on earth. We're done.
We're done. I know, literally, I want that so badly.
That's my dream. I think that's a lot of our dream if there was like peace on earth.
Oh my gosh.
Wouldn't that be everything?
It's so insane because like our paradigm, like our world's paradigm is just so far from that. It's hard to even imagine.
I know, I know, but I definitely want to talk about that more, promote that more. That's the less evil, less destructive, more productive way to go. It makes complete sense. Peace on,
Totally.
God,
And if we could find a way to like utilize our technology to help clean up the planet,
produce food, clean.
produce food, yeah, feed people who are hungry, give people housing, and just like give people care that need it.
Instead of in New York, I know they're working on plans for like a gajillion-dollar casino for, gambling in New York. And it's like, really?
Oof. Oh
Really?
God.
Like,
Yeah, and casinos are so, I mean, like talk about dark energy in casinos. It really freaks me out. My niece, I was playing like some cell phone games with my niece, and it's insane because like when I went to the casino with my friend, it's like they use all the exact same sort of like visuals and ultra bright poppy colors on the lotto machines as well.
where you in?
It's really creepy, honestly, and it
It,
just really sucks you in.
it sucks you in and you lose all your cash and then you're in debt to some crazy people and you have to go home and tell your spouse, hey, I lost the house. It makes no
That
makes
so horrible.
but yeah, we have to avoid the, there's dark energy and there's good energy.
There is, and everything, I think it's like it's easy to feel consumed by the dark energy. And I used to be like, how can I even be happy when I know that like there are people who are going through things that are just so horrible on this planet simultaneously as my existence. And I guess it's just like you have to just like focus on what's around you and spreading positivity in like your community and the people in your life. And that's really the best you can do, and like, of course, be conscious of all of these things and like, educate yourself and understand what's going on. But then also you have to take some distance from it and focus on your immediate surroundings.
Everyone has, as much power as they have as an individual person. And
Yeah,
the best that you could do is um, help the people around within your community and whatever comes your way and whatever crosses your path. And then that has an exponential effect on those people and their communities. So I think if you're doing your part as a good human being, that's having a good effect on, your outer circle, their outer circle. And that's the best you could do. If you're in a position of a lot of power, you should really be utilizing that wisely.
I completely agree with you. And man, yeah, it's a lot of people don't, unfortunately. Well, I mean, I guess just like a lot of business models um, rely on exploitation of people, the planet,
Yeah.
and power.
Alcohol, drugs, all of this stuff. It doesn't, and use the algorithms on your phone, keeping you sucked into this, uh,
Yeah.
not aware of your surroundings. Um, get up, get active, be a part of your community, be a part of yourself, be a part of your world, and put your phone down and get out there.
And let yourself be bored. I
Totally.
think when you're so used to just like the stimulus, and like I speak from someone who's like very addicted to my phone, and I've gone through periods where I was like not doing well and I was on my phone a lot, and like the major dopamine source I would get would be just like through looking at my phone. And honestly, like my phone became far more interesting than the real world, that my brain literally just wouldn't produce the same amount of dopamine just like being present. And
It's
hence my song dopamine. Yeah. um but yeah, and but eventually, like if you let yourself be bored and take breaks, like you will start to get that spark back.
I just want to close And thank you immensely for sharing this space with me and your heart and your honesty and your time. And I wish you the utmost amount of success, and I can't wait to see more people listening to your music, more people downloading your music. You're a really beautiful person inside and out,
Thank you.
as you know, genuine as they get, and your soul speaks for itself. Stay, and I know you're going to do this, but stay so true to who you are. You know more than anyone who that is. I love your style. I love your voice. And I will just watch you rise.
Thank you. I feel the same way about you. You're beautiful inside and out, and I feel like we're on the same wavelength. And I
Love
really
that.
enjoyed this. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. It was awesome.
Of course, thank you, Trisha. I'm really excited, and I'll talk to you really soon.
Same. Thank you so much.
Bye.